So here we are on day 2. The outside footing has had the wire set, and the 3 foot to the parallel to the second wall has been set. If you look here carefully, you can see the intersection of the 4th corner of the room. Right there where you see the hose hanging, it pretty well, actually where this stake is. Where that stake is where there'll be a door that will go into that room. And then going up on a 45 on this wall will be the stairs to the 2nd floor. We talked it over last night. It's probably going to be right up here to about the 6 foot mark, 7 foot mark, and then head for the rest up the 2nd floor after wrapping around this corner. It'd be a good place to put a fridge underneath so we don't waste that much floor space with having a separate stairs and then a separate place for the fridge. The rough plumbing is going to go out through there and out through here. Kitchen sink, probably going to have it on a 45 right here. So when you come out of that door, you'll be into the kitchen where there'll be a counter here, kitchen sink in that corner, maybe some cupboards. Nothing elaborate, pretty basic. And this wall here will probably not be completely enclosed. Probably have brick up to the 4 foot level and then an open area and then brick again above up to the 2nd floor. It's pretty much expected when you are doing a property that you have to buy all of the fixtures. Some of the construction dimensional reference parts, like these sticks here. Before they started, they needed $100 to both clear off the land, because it grows in quite quickly, and to buy the sticks and the string necessary to do it. Typically the guys will bring their own shovel. They may bring most of their possessions will be a string, a shovel, a level, a square, an earth pick. An earth pick allows you just to, it's a big metal bar with a point on the end that allows them to break up the earth, and a hammer, and pretty well everything else you need to purchase. It's not a large expense. Oh, a bucket, yes. They'll almost always have a bucket. A lot of times you'll find you run out of water. This plot here has the 26 plots I'd mentioned previous, and they have a service of water from a private water company, even though they get a lot of their water from the public water service, Enecal. There's a lot of spats back and forth, who's using too much water, who's using too little water. This lotification has a contract written with a private company for, I think, like 30 years. And every now and then, Enecal will play tricks, and our company apparently plays tricks as well, and the water will be shut off. So at the time there is water, you want to fill up these barrels here to acquire the water necessary to mix the cement. These barrels were bought at the local market. It was actually quite funny that they were, I think they were 85 Cordoba each, so about $3, $2.50. And they were that price until they saw me. Then suddenly they were like $8 each. So, of course, Chilo took offense to that, and brother-in-law and Chilo bragging and yelling, and, well, not yelling, but how should we say, forceful expression of words, and they got it back to the original quoted price. So, a lot of times I'll just ask, is there any benefit for me showing my face there in any negotiation, picking up rebar, cement, blocks, whatever. And it seems to be about 30-70 mix. 30% of the time you will get the gringo tax applied. 70% of the time the people will sit by and honor the price they gave. This is the lotification. So I have right across from us, this is our one neighbor, this is the neighbor across from the plot of land I was talking about, and this is the one, well, the one across from the plot of land I was talking about is actually more parallel with brother-in-law's place. And here's the front porch of brother-in-law's house. He has a pretty nice covered porch in the front. He wants to screen it in, you know, with a type of metal. He was a welder by trade at Linamar, so he's welded up this gate. Very nice gate, very strong, and he'll be welding up a similar one to us. He's even got a plug fabricated, or a plug installed, so he can plug his welder in right by the door. Then there's one person right beside him. It's kind of funny that they have an avocado tree and he has another type of lemon tree, and the two of them were swapping back and forth stealing fruit off of each other's tree, which is pretty common here. You know, no one thinks anything of just grabbing a hook and going onto a citrus tree and grabbing off a lemon or a mango or otherwise. Inside the compound there are 2 or 3 avocado, lemon dulce, which is like a sweet lemon, and another type of citrus. And the people who run the compound will actually just have people in. They'll show up in a pickup truck with a bunch of hooks, and they'll go into the tree and they'll grab all the fruit and give a small amount of money to the person who runs the compound, because I guess all the common trees are their property to manage, and they'll give a small amount of money for that, and then they'll run out to the market and either sell it to one of the retailers or sell it themselves. Here's your typical water setup. You have a meter, and a lot of people will have a meter on the exposed on the outside in the ground. They do get damaged a lot of times. You should see here that there's not much protection to them. My brother-in-law's had this tap knocked off a couple times, and because everything's PVC here, it's quick and cheap to fix, but it's not very durable, so it's prone to knockoffs. He does have a tank of his own, so he has to be sure to have a check valve, and the check valve will stop it from draining back into the city water system. It's unfortunate that these meters don't run backwards, because if you do have your own tank, and the water does turn off, and your tank draws in backwards, you're actually paying for the water twice. You have to pay for the water to fill your tank the first time, and pay for water to fill your tank the second time, even though all your water that you had in the tank ran back out. If memory serves correct, this is our marker stone for the plot limit. So we still have a foot or two outside of the door. On this side here, we're going to have the horizontal rebars started to be laid quite soon. The rebars themselves will protrude horizontally from this column, and that column. And that will allow for continuation of the structure towards me to this end of the property. An example of the pick and the shovel. So a very sharp pick on the end of that pole, and then it'll just pick through, loosen up the soil, shovel it out. You'll see the soil itself is quite compact, so it doesn't need bracing or otherwise. It very, very small chance of cave-in. There's the setback for the other door. This is the door that's going to go into the bathroom over here. It's going to have the pipe go out through there and then down to the septic, which I showed in the other video down over there. As you see, in general, there is a lot of fill to get rid of. All of this here, all of that there, a fair amount here. Some will, a fair amount, maybe more than 50% will actually be filled back in when they get the horizontal footings done, but there'll still be a fair amount of fill left. Our pile of cement is dwindling. We're down to about 5/8, half of what we had originally purchased. This should get us through another 3 or 4 days. Well, wraps it up for the 14th. If you found this video and the previous one of interest, please subscribe so you can watch the progress of the house as it's finished. We hope to be done by the end of 2020, early 2021. This is completely self-financed, so as we have cash available, we'll build. So it's not like we have a large loan or something like that where we can automatically go building gung-ho to get the whole thing finished. This stretch of labor here took us about 6 months, 8 months to save up for, while the previous 2 fences took about the same time. So, barring any catastrophic financial events on our side, we think we should be done by the end of 2020 or 2021. So again, if you're patient and like this series so far, please subscribe.